Our number one film is basically the one film that I associate most with Halloween. Makes me think of Halloween. When I think of Halloween, I think of this film, and that film is Ghostbusters. As a kid, I was obsessed with this film and the world the Ghostbusters inhabited. One of my favourite memories of Halloween was dressing up as Peter Venkman, proton pack and all. Ghostbusters is a comedy horror in which a bunch of failed parapsychologists, after being fired from a university research project, decide to go into business for themselves. They do this by setting up an on-call ghost catching service called Ghostbusters. Moving into an abandoned firehouse, the Ghostbusters receive emergency phone calls and rush to the aid of spooked customers via a souped up old funeral hearse, complete with white paint, Ghostbusters logo, and police siren. Once at the scene of a haunting, the Ghostbusters have a variety of equipment at their disposal, including a PK meter that measures supernatural activity and acts as a kind of Geiger counter for ghosts, a collection of proton packs, devices that shoot out laser light projectiles that can hold a ghost in its place, and finally traps that can trap a ghost in order for the Ghostbusters to remove the troublesome spirit from the premises. After this, the Ghostbusters get paid and go back to the firehouse where they dump the ghosts into a containment unit. Ghostbusters is heavy on supernatural adventures and ghosts, but light on the horror. Although, as a kid, I found some of the spirits, especially the lady in the library, pretty terrifying. The cast playing the Ghostbusters is superb, with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson all on the top of their comedic game. Interestingly, Bill Murray's character was actually going to be played by John Belushi before he sadly passed away. And although Murray makes the role his own and is fantastic, you can definitely see where Belushi would have went with the character of Peter Venkman. The supporting cast is also fantastic, with Sigourney Weaver playing the love interest and Rick Moranis as her hilarious neighbour. Many of Moranis' lines apparently were ad-libbed, and if you listen to what he's actually saying half of the time, he's just hilarious. The special effects for the time are outstanding, and there are some, most notably the Slimer and Library ghosts, that I would take any day of the week over a computer-generated counterpart. The soundtrack is also great. Most people know the signature tune, but the rest of the score and the original soundtrack are both really fun to listen to. So if you can get your hands on the soundtrack, definitely do it. Ivan Reitman's direction is spot on, and really, this film is everything that was great about films in the 80s, showing how a film can be both timeless and representative of a certain period. It's the only film on this list that is a true comedy, and Bill Murray was recently quoted as saying that he feels the first 40 minutes are as good as any film he has seen. I would agree with this, but I would expand it to include the whole movie. I think Ghostbusters is one of the best comedies ever made, and it's definitely one of the best sort of supernaturally based films there's ever been. Might not be out and out horror, but I think it still deserves to be in this list. Ghostbusters was such a huge hit that it spawned a hit single, a sequel, and several animated spin offs. The sequel was much maligned, but it's actually enjoyable. While by no means a classic, there are some great Ghostbusters moments in there, and it was really cool seeing that group of actors back again for another film. The TV series The Real Ghostbusters was an ever-present part of my childhood. I really consider this series to be part of the canon of the Ghostbusters franchise, and the first season is a great laugh. There are box sets of it, I think, so if you can, go and get it, because The Real Ghostbusters was great. Rumours of a third Ghostbusters film have persisted for many years. It was believed that Bill Murray was the one that was holding up the franchise, but now, thankfully, as he said recently, the wounds from Ghostbusters 2 have healed, and there is now a script being written for a proposed third film due for release in the not too distant future, Whether it focuses completely on the original cast or on a new generation of Ghostbusters, we'll have to wait and see. I hope they just make a flat out sequel with the original cast, and there have been rumours over the past few years about it being an animated film, and although it would be better than nothing, I would rather see a live action film. So Ghostbusters was there every Halloween for me. I dressed up as them as a kid, had the movies on VHS, the soundtrack on tape, watched all the cartoons, and had most of the toys. I was just a huge, huge fan, and to be honest, I still am. Now it's DVD, but that'll be getting played this Halloween. So whenever I think about Halloween, I think about watching the Ghostbusters. Well, that's us at the end of the list. It's taken way longer than I intended, but you know, I like talking about these films. Anyway, I hope you have or have had a great Halloween. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. If you listened to the whole 40 odd minutes of it, thank you very much. It was really nice of you. And well, it's 4 in the morning, so I'm off to bed. But thanks for listening. Take care.